Hello there, kia ora. Did you know there's been a bit of a silent revolution happening within our media sphere and it's pissing off a bunch of racist, sexist, homophobic, shitty, impotent people? And the reasons you probably haven't noticed this revolution is because it's actually being done with no fanfare behind the scenes by a chunk of our major mainstream news outlets. What they're doing is walking away from Elon's toxic circle jerk platform Twitter, or X. Since Musk, seen here at the inauguration of Donald Trump giving a Nazi salute, took control of the platform, well, there's been a subsequent rise in hate and disinformation on there under the guise of free speech. The toxicity levels there have increased exponentially. As a result of this, TVNZ has now walked away from the platform, changing their profiles to point out that they're no longer updated or monitored. TVNZ joins Stuff and its stable of mastheads and the ODT as mainstream media outlets who have chosen to walk away. While the spin offs limited its interactions on the platform after a rise in vile behaviours, particularly towards minority groups. And we know that behavior is increasing because of the mountain of research that's been done showing this, which indicates that Facebook, with the removal of US fact checkers, is likely to descend into the sort of place where you'll find that kind of hateful toxicity becoming much more prominent. As of today, there are three mainstream media outlets still posting regularly on Twitter or X. The Herald, News Talk ZB, and The Newsroom. And when you see the quality of the commentary that they get, well, you can kind of see why others have felt the need to move away and why a lot of people avoid interacting with these outlets online. Twitter was, in the past, a common source of journalism for leads, for being able to reach out and connect to people. But with the creation of a space where people feel unsafe, they choose to leave because there's nothing keeping them there. And with it goes important ways to keep people informed, including people in the media. Of course, this has upset those people who feel it's their right to have access to mainstream media to scream and harass those who work in the field. But they're actually a bigger problem than a lot of people realize. You see, content moderation is an important tool for mainstream media to be able to show that they understand the power of messaging and impact that they could have, and the reach that they've got as well. It allows for safe conversations where people can disagree and debate without denigration or fear of retribution. And by allowing people who say things like, this about immigrants, for example, to use your platform to spread their messaging, it causes audiences to switch off and the trust level drops in the work that they do. If a response feed is just filled with hateful bigotry, that colours the opinions and actions of people just wanting to access information, which is the majority of users. Then it suffers from what media theorists call the nasty effect. This is when people turn off and lose respect for a media organisation based on the level of trust and safety that the social media audience has about interacting with the content. It leads to echo chambers in comments, which leads to media changing its content to match the needs of those who go out of their way to comment to build interaction levels, which are sold to advertisers, which means a shift in ideological perspective, which means those getting information from mainstream media and their view on the world shifting as well. And while the alt-right here will be complaining that it's a short-sighted move to leave what is obviously such a big and important platform with so many people, international research shows that mainstream news outlets leaving Twitter overseas have seen a negligible drop in traffic to their websites and greater trust levels in their content. Interestingly, research here shows leaving social media had a negligible impact initially on trust levels for Stuff, which were the first mainstream media outlet to leave Facebook in 2020, with only a brief return for essential updates around things like the death of Queen Elizabeth or Cyclone Gabriel. But their introduction of paywalled content coincided with their biggest drop in trust levels according to AUT data on media trust. There's a lot wrong with the way that the general public think about and understand mainstream media, mixing up concepts like accuracy and bias, for example. But if we want to see if the decision to stop allowing the most toxic, nasty asshats on the internet to hijack their platform is a good one, then you just need to see their reaction to no longer being able to do that. Free speech rights don't mean anyone has to platform speech that they disagree with or that puts people in a position where they might feel vulnerable or at risk. But the people who feel that they're entitled to do that, they're the ones upset at this move, which shows that maybe it's the right thing to do. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you get more updates as we go along. We deal with these guys for the rest of the year.